Woohoo! Christmas came early this year, folks. Your boy just got home from work to this beauty. LG Ultra Gear, 4K, 144 Hertz, 1 millisecond response time, RGB. I was really, well, this lighting sucks, holy crap, hang on. Really debating, because I definitely wanted to get a third monitor, and I didn't really know, like, which one to get. Because I was debating between a few, because I was like, if I want to get another one, I want to upgrade. I don't want to, like, side grade or downgrade for sure. Because my main monitor, the MSI 27CQR, 1440p, 144 Hz, 1 millisecond response, all that good stuff. VA panel, 27-inch. It's, you know, it's not bad at all for sure. But I was like, do I get another 1440p monitor? Do I get another 1080p monitor to go with my other 1080p side monitor? Do I go for like, do I get it as a side monitor and get like 60 Hz because I don't really need high refresh rate for like a side monitor? Or do I get a new main monitor that has maybe like a higher refresh rate or a higher resolution or whatever, or a bigger one? And I was like, I like the size 27-inch because it's definitely a lot better than 24 inches like the other one is here. And definitely not too big for the desk that I have currently. And the one I'm planning on eventually getting, like the standard IKEA desk thing, you know what I'm talking about. So I was debating pretty much between 3 different monitors. The Samsung Odyssey G7, which is only 1440p, but it's 240 Hz. It's even more curved, which I don't mind a curve. I've gotten used to the MSI ones that are slightly curved, but it definitely wasn't a deal breaker if it wasn't curved. Or the Asus Swift ROG, whatever it's called, the 4K 144 Hz one that a lot of like tech YouTubers have. And I saw like some spotty reviews about it, and it's over 1K. At least one time, every time I've checked on the price, it's always been like over 1K. And then I found this one, like I said, 4K 144 Hz, 1 millisecond response, 27-inch, and it was less than 1K, but it had most of the same specs as the Asus one. And I was like, yeah, if I'm going to get another monitor, I might as well go 4K. So I was like, I'm not going to get the G7 now. So it was between the Asus and the LG, and I finally got the LG. Because originally I definitely wanted to get a new graphics card first to actually handle the 4K. But since that's not happening this year, I thought I'd get the monitor first, for now at least. So I have another monitor that's 4K for like YouTube videos and movies or whatever. And then eventually I'll be able to get a powerful enough graphics card to run it. Because my 2070 Super, I've tested it in like some of the Tomb Raider games, the more recent one like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, at 1440p max settings. It's getting, you know, more than 60 most of the time, but I know like at 4K it's not going to be able to handle like anything even close to 60 maybe. Of course, unless I turn down all like the details and stuff, but I don't really want to do that in a game like that, you know. So I'm gonna get everything set up, and I try to see what I can play and film on it. But I have some other stuff to do first, so you might see a change in lighting and scenery and all that. Okay. Alright, so it's the next day, and I finally loaded up a game that I think can actually properly display a 4K gaming experience. This is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. You see my options here. Got 4K resolution. DLSS is off for now. I might turn it on later if I need to get some frames back. So yeah, I got a little bit into AOSing going, but not too intensive. So let's just see. This is definitely a game that I actually would run at 4K because it's story-based, scenic-based. If it was something like Apex or Overwatch, definitely wouldn't run that at 4K. But this is definitely a game that I would actually like to be able to run at 4K. I also noticed it has an HDR mode, which this display does do HDR. It's ready for HDR 600. But I have heard it's not the best. I might look at it later to see what it looks like. But for now, I'm gonna see what gameplay looks like on this. I'm not really gonna do much like stout challenges or whatever, or objectives. Just kind of walk around and see how different, or if it even looks different to my eyes. And I know my 2070 Super is gonna be struggling. Luckily, I'm using my CPU doing code OBS now. Oh! I don't know if you can see that in the top left. That's a solid 25 frames. Ooh. And this lighting's not great. So let me go outside. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, this is gonna make it even worse probably because of all the extra scenery to load. Okay, you know, got no tearing. It's not a complete slideshow. Definitely not great. So I'm gonna see if I can turn on DLSS from here to see if we get any frames back. Apply changes. Keep changes. Okay, we doubled our frame rate to about 40. That's good. Okay, sitting at 35, 40. You know, I had heard in reviews about 4K, just like 4K gaming, that running at 30 frames was like playable. 30, 40 frames, enough to where like it didn't really matter for a game like this. And I was like, no way, like 60 frames is always kind of like the standard, no matter what. But honestly, around 40 frames is not bad. And I didn't even show you guys, I have all my graphics cranked to ultra, except motion blur is off. I even have like pure hairs on, I have bloom, tessellation, detail, depth, ambient occlusion, all that just cranked. Ray tracing, shadow quality, high. So like, I'm not running low settings at a high resolution. I'm definitely running ultra settings on a 4K resolution. Wow, this is actually surprisingly playable. Of course, in the more action-oriented scenes, it could suffer a bit back to like less than 30. I don't doubt my GPU is completely struggling right now. Let's see. I guess over here, performance. Huh. According to the task manager, GPU is only sitting at around 60%, which seems kind of weird. Oh! Oh! I see now why. It's a GPU vram issue. I'm maxing out my VRAM. Damn, that sucks. That's what's limiting my frames. The fucking VRAM. Oh. I've never seen that before. I've looked so, but I don't even know how to cut that back. Like, how did I even... Let's see. It might be like a graphics like quality issue, not a resolution issue, I think. Yeah, it's a detail issue. Okay. Interesting. So if that's what's limiting my frames, I think. Let's see if we can drop that. I definitely do want to finish playing this game out in 4K, because I actually really like this game. So graphics. Let's turn texture quality to high. Turn this down to 8x. Turn this down to medium. No, let's keep that high. I like that being high. Still using a lot of VRAM. I have 8 gigs, by the way, on this 2070 Super, and it is using every single bit of that. But it's keeping its usage down to about 50 to 55%, which is interesting to see on a 4K experience like this. Let's just go to a high preset and fuck motion blur. Still maxing out GPU memory. Oh, whoa, wait. I'm at 60 frames though. Hell yeah. Okay, my refresh rate is set at 144, so it should be able to get higher than 60 if it can. Definitely playable. And the usage went down to, okay, there it goes. It's staying up around 50% usage on GPU. That's so interesting though. I definitely see the argument for more VRAM nowadays, because this is like, what, a 2-year-old game almost? I think it came out, when did Shadow of the Tomb Raider come out? I think it came out last year, didn't it? 2018, okay. September 12th, 2018. So it's, yeah, a solid 2-year-old game, and at 4K with high preset. I am maxing out the VRAM and only using about 50% of the 2070 Super. Definitely see the argument for more VRAM. But yeah, this is pretty nice. Of course, I'm using DLSS. Let's see if I turn it off, what happens. Oof, and we're back to 20 frames. Never mind, let's go back. Like, even the menus are slow. Let's turn the DLSS back on there, Chief. There we go. Yes, please keep these settings. Now, as far as, like, how it looks, like the scenery and stuff, I don't notice anything exactly different. I know the colors look a little different because this is an IPS panel, not a VA panel that I'm used to. But I'm genuinely surprised. I'm running 4K 60 Hz or 60 frames, high settings. I'm only using about 50% GPU and 50% CPU. I am also recording for OBS on my CPU though. Now I'm really curious how the HDR looks on this. So I'm gonna go test that right now. Let me get to a good area to turn it on. So I don't know where that would be. I know HDR likes like shadows and light and stuff. So maybe up here? Got a dark area, a less light, a less dark area, and then an area over there. Not exactly helping that there's a huge light in my face, but we're gonna work with it. Alright, save game. Exit to menu. Of course, I unfortunately have to go into the Windows settings to turn on HDR and then go back into the game. I guess I could have turned, I could have stayed inside the, I think I'd stay inside the game and just turn HDR from Windows mode, the Windows setting. Let's see. Okay, actually this area works too. It's okay, it's not so bad. I got a little bit of light from the ceiling. Got some shadows and dark. Okay. So Alt Tab, settings, display 2, HDR games and apps. Interestingly enough, it changes the brightness. Even though I have the brightness maxed out for all 3 displays, it does definitely darken it when I turn on HDR, which is interesting. So let's see what happens now. Oh, we got a little stuttery there in OBS. It definitely looks grainy right now. Let's see if we got HDR now. Hell yeah. Luminescence. It's just slightly everything electronically simple. And barely visible. Wait. From left to right until the sample image on the right is almost entirely white. Details are barely visible. What does that mean? I'm not seeing a difference, fam. I'm just keeping it in the middle because I, again, don't know what this is doing. I don't see a difference. Like, at all. I might have been, yeah, oh, okay, I was partially blocking. Whoa. Wait, now I see difference now that you've applied the I didn't apply the HDR setting first. That might do something. Okay, here we go. Looks good to me. Let's see. I even have more frames now. 70 frames. Okay. That lighting looks different on their face. I can see that it's more flickery because it's very obvious that it's like, well, obviously like a fire, but it just looks, I can tell the difference on that already. Let's see what outside looks like. Ooh. I think I have shadows on, like RTX shadows. I don't. Let's turn that on. Let's do high. Ooh, 40 frames. I did say 40 frames was playable for this game, but having just gone at 60, it looks too different. Let's put shadows at medium. Okay, we're back at 60. Nice. I'm sure RTX and HDR go together, right? Right? And have VRAM, man. That is surprising. I'm only using 50% of my GPU at 4K. High settings. It's just a straight up VRAM issue. Oh well, okay. Ooh. Ooh, that shadow though. I'm sure this would look a lot better at night without this light in my face. Wow. I definitely see a difference off looking at OBS preview here on the screen versus on my main display. Looks a lot brighter in OBS, which is probably what you guys are seeing. I can tell you right now, it looks dark on my screen. I'm also only recording OBS at 1080p, not the full 4K, because I'm just not gonna do that. It definitely makes it look like it definitely makes it feel a lot different, because looking out there I can see, oh, it's like midday, it's pretty bright out, and then you look down here and it's like, oh, it's kind of like dusk, like, you know, sun's going down type of thing. This area over here is a lot darker than it was before, like I was saying it might be. This area is a little lighter than that area, but definitely, again, like I said, looks more like dusk. And then looking up there, not a big difference up there. It's, you know, pretty well lit. It's mostly, I think, just like a single image. It's not changing dynamically except the clouds, probably. Again, I don't know if the OBS is even picking up my frames, but I'm still running a solid 60 right now, which is pretty nice. Whoa. The lighting through that up there. Down there, I want to see that. Looks kind of cool. I want to get the actual like full sunlight to see how it looks. Whoa, okay, that's something. I can tell a huge difference coming out from the shadows, which should make sense because like RTX shadows, I can tell there's more light on this side than this side from that lit area right there. And then just coming into the sunlight, it's like boom. And her dress or whatever looks definitely like shimmery, more shimmery, higher detail for sure. Wow. This definitely looks different in full sunlight. I'll give it that. To be fair, I wasn't really running much higher frame rates before now anyway, so good. I was honestly not thinking my system could even run this at 4K high details. Since it's a VRAM issue, not a GPU issue, I guess it's fine. Wow, it looks really grainy on OBS. Wow. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about having to manually change the HDR setting, because if this is really HDR doing this effect, I think it's worth turning on every time I play this game, which is honestly not very often nowadays, unfortunately, because I love Apex. But if this is just the resolution and details doing it, it's great. So if I turn, let's see if I turn HDR off, what happens? Like fully off in menu and in Windows. Okay, it looks less grainy on OBS. Still looks grainy on my screen though, because I'm using the HDR in Windows, so I'm gonna turn that off real quick. It's weird that it would do that though, like make everything grainy and dim. Yeah, so OBS preview looks the same. So running at 60 frames. Could be a bit of a placebo, but I don't see a huge difference. I was seeing like the graininess, or like it's like an old time film grain type thing when HDR is on, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know if I can tell. Like a side by side. Cause like I think I can see some stuff different, but it could definitely be a placebo effect. Let's see, let's go back in the shadow. This doesn't really count, but I know the entire game is not fully RTX, it's only the shadows and stuff. See if I can go right back up to where I was earlier. Oh yeah, definitely a difference in the shadows. Because like standing right here, I couldn't see the back wall of that little area right there. It's even hard to see in OBS, but like in game, I can see it from here. And like this area right here, I said before it looks like a dusk, but now it looks like it's a little lighter, kind of like mid-morning type thing. And then like, yeah, like I said, that area up there that's lit, it's kind of stays the same. All right, well, nice little experiment here. I'm so surprised that this thing is a thing. Only using 50% of my GPU, 4K, high details, stupid VRAM. Anyway, so like I just wanted to see how this would look. Definitely surprised me on the results. So I'm gonna call it here. Thanks guys for watching. That's pretty much it. And by the way, so like I said earlier, I was turning up the brightness on all my monitors, because when I first got this, it was so dim. I turned the brightness up, and I was doing that other thing. I was doing that with my other monitors, and I noticed in my previous main display, my 1440p 144 Hz monitor, I noticed that adaptive sync was off in the settings, and I was wondering like why Apex was running like so poorly. Like it looked like it was tearing and stuff. And I turned like VSync on, and I tried playing with that. Tried playing with the like refresh rate, the frame rate. And it looked the same. I was like, okay, it's just a game thing. Pretty sure it's now a monitor thing, that adaptive sync was not on that monitor, but it's definitely on this, and it's G-Sync, and I have a NVIDIA graphics card. I can tell you right now, it looks a lot smoother. But yeah, I had this monitor for months. Now I turned adaptive sync on, and I'm such an idiot. Yeah. Anyway, just wanted to throw that in there at the end.